Welcome back to Red Sand Rising. I am, as always, CheesyGMing, or Charlie, as your GM for this adventure, and with me, as always, are our players who are dug in the tunnels in the pit. Say hi.
Hello there, coming at you straight from the tunnels, straight from the pits. It's Elias playing a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing dwarf who also smells really nice, and Giovanni.
Straight from the tunnels, it's Faye playing Sappho again, our bard who is still very afraid of being turned into chicken nuggets.
Hello, Sylvia here, and I'm also back from the pit and also ready to fight some creatures. As always playing Jiji, a lovely little wizard alchemist.
And we actually have a little surprise today. We have our guest player, our first guest player. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Christoph. I'm the guest player and my character will be revealed during this session. I'm very excited to join y'all.
We will indeed. But let's jump back to where we left off. As last we left off, our Sandpoint heroes went to speak with the little blue creatures, recognizing them as Jinkings, a type of fey gremlin that enjoys sadistically hurting others. As they moved further in, Sappho and Giovanni soon realized something is off, and they backed away as they were taunted to go in and then taunted for going out. In their attempts to clear out the first floor, the party opens the additional doors leading deeper into the pit, as well as a door that went to the backside of the tunnels, where they saw the Jinkings digging dirt and throwing it at each other, enjoying it every time someone got hurt. Realizing that they will become eventually a problem later on, the party decided to take care of the Jinkins while they were still on this only a small issue, try to snipe them from afar while the Jinkins were still playing around with their teaspoons. So we ended up last session with you all rolling initiative. You do also know that in this area, while you scouted the area, there were around 12 Jinkings all in all. So let's roll initiative for our guys here, because we will be jumping initiative immediately into an encounter.
You know, you don't have to roll for all of them. You can also say some of them are just so entrenched with the spoons that they don't want to join the fight.
Are you sure?
It's a bit unsettling when there's so many dice rolling, you know?
Yeah, it's
just
a
leave
lot
out
of
a
you
few.
guys.
Yeah. They don't have to fight us.
I mean, I know they don't have to, but they kind of want to. Then with that, as you are technically still hiding around, we're going to have a little bit of a different encounter, as in the beginning, whoever is supposed to start here is not you, but they are not aware of you. Meaning, the first one to actually act here is going to be Jiji.
Alright, I'm of course gonna assume that hopefully I'm still hidden, as I rolled stealth initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And so far nobody jumped me immediately, which is always a good sign. And I'm just gonna do what we planned and do like a full-on... what's it called? Sorry. Give me a second as I open my sheet. A good old force barrage from full distance. Yes, that gives me 120 range. And I will have to drain my bonded item for the first rank.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't do that again today. But that is a free action, so I can then cast a force barrage. And I'm hoping to use advantage of stealth to just spend all 3 actions.
So the stealth essentially means they don't know you are there, but you don't need to target. Oh, you don't need to target.
I do need to target.
But force barrage is, I believe, an immediate roll, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You choose a target for each shard. If you shoot more than one shard at the same target, combine the damage before applying bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, since I want to spend all 3 actions, I get 3 shards.
Are you targeting only one of them or more? Because I think you can see 2.
How healthy do they look? Like, do they look like they could take multiple hits?
None of them is harmed. They are completely unharmed.
I know. But we rolled insight last session into like how strong they are individually, and I think we had pretty high rolls, but I don't quite remember of like how hardy they are.
Generally, the sense you got is that on a one-on-one against a Jinkin, you're gonna win no issue at all. But if they are covering you in numbers, it might become an issue. So they do seem like a small little squishy creature, but you don't think it's like too squishy. It's not something that's gonna die from like a slap.
I'll do 2 to 1, yes. Mm-hmm. So 2 on the like closer one, and 1 on the farther one.
Sounds
just
good.
Hope.
You can give me the damage roll, please.
So that would be 8 damage on the first one.
8 damage on the first one. Yeah, it seems to be taking quite a hit, though it's still standing.
But since I unfortunately have to decide that beforehand, the third child will fly to the other one.
Absolutely. That's, I think, quite high damage for all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
A total of 12. And that will be Jiji.
Mm-hmm.
Leading us to Giovanni. You're further in a little bit. You can't really see any of them.
Yeah, so what is Giovanni actually noticed happening? Jiji blasting the force barrage into the little tunnel, and has there been any reaction from them? Has there been any sounds, any movement?
The moment 2 of them got injured from something that is not their own spoons, they both reacted in like being surprised and like exclamation of like ah! As they are knowing that something came to them from this small tunnel, because that's where it came from. You can absolutely be certain that they are kind of alerted to the fact that something is around here.
Okay. And in that case, Giovanni just thinks, okay, the time for stealth is over. The time to squash these little fiends has come, and strides in front of Jiji, looking down the little tunnel there where Jiji has fired down, and see one of the little guys.
Yes.
But it is still quite far away, about 40 feet. So Giovanni has used how many? Giovanni has 25 feet of movement.
I mean, we were kind of hoping that they'd come to us, so we don't get surrounded too much.
That is true.
But that was the original plan of like letting them come to us, so we don't get surrounded easily. But feel free to head forward.
No, Giovanni just doesn't want to like have Jiji be the target all by herself there, and the plan is still to.
I'd assumed I'd be fine with a
but
rose bush and be able to step back next turn.
Yeah,
but,
Giovanni will like step in front of you anyways. And,
that is very valiant.
Use one action to channel the elements, and what happens in that case is like the ground on the cave, kind of like some moisture, some water gets sucked out of the ground into like calm little puddles, and some lotus flowers start growing on the puddles and swirling slowly as Giovanni uses channel elements. And with the last action in that case, since that was 2 of my actions, Giovanni will just raise a shield.
Sounds good.
And that's the turn.
This leads us to the first Jinkin who is actually aware of something happening. All the way hidden from a different area that you cannot see is a Jinkin that starts motioning and rushing towards the center to figure out where this came from and what they're going to do. So originally they're going to move until they actually see something, which leads them all the way to your view as they rush into the tunnel, and only now they can see you, but that is 3 actions to get all the way to you, as they're kind of yelling but they're not like saying anything. They can't really point you out because that would be an action, but they're responding to the fact that they see something. After that, Christoph, would you please describe your character to us and how you appear?
Already?
Dun, dun, dun.
Amazing.
Already.
You see that one of the chickens who was previously digging around with a spoon suddenly jumps up because the spoon he was using for digging around suddenly transforms into a small raccoon person.
Oh my god.
Sappho can't see it. That's the most tragic thing.
Oh yeah, that's so sad. Giovanni and Jiji, I think, are just in awe as this happens. Like, they've never seen anything like this before.
Where in our viewpoint does that happen?
It is a little lower. To you, I don't think you have a viewpoint directly to it. However, we do get the description from Christoph. What does the Jenkins see?
He is a mix between a raccoon and a red panda. He wears loose-fitting training clothes, a straw hat on his head, and a damp green apron around his belly. And you see that on the side of his hip there's like a white gourd. As he transforms back, he shouts at the Jenkins, "That's not what spoons are made for! Where are your manners?" And in the same motion, he reaches for something behind his back, and the moment he closes his paw, a big glaive appears in his hand, which he immediately uses to strike at the Jinkin.
Give me a strike. Essentially, the party starts attacking, suddenly hearing this voice coming from the inside is like, someone is here.
So let me get this straight. Giovanni just witnessed the spoon in one of the Jenkins' hands turn into a little raccoon, manifest a glaive out of thin air, and smash the guy. Amazing.
Pretty much.
And then completely misses.
Aw.
Well, that's it. 3 actions.
This leads us to a different one of the Jenkins, as there are so many of them. On the inside, all the way, you can hear a voice coming from where you all, or most of you, saw the Jenkin, the first one who was taunting you. As you can hear, "Pakanta! Pow! Pow!" As one of them seems to be commanding the others, and it is rushing in to find whatever is doing things. I think in their view, they can only see our lovely raccoon, who we don't even know the name of yet. So they're going to try to rush in and flank our lovely raccoon, which leads us to another one of them. There are so many. Rushing from the bottom tunnel, one that you are not from but you can see, is another one of those creatures. It does reach Jiji with only 2 actions, meaning its third action is going to be to attack Jiji.
So rude.
Very rude.
So rude. As it takes out a sword and stabs you in the side for a 23 to hit.
That does hit me.
A total of 4 points of piercing damage. Leading us to Sappho. By now, all of these, there are so many yells and shouts inside this place, whether language or just noises are combined.
Yes. Well, Sappho has only heard our new, person has joined, but goes on the same line of like, well, an enemy of an enemy is at least somewhat a friend. At least in this moment.
Fair enough.
And also Sappho tries to believe in the good of people. And as she starts her rallying anthem, because, you know, like this, to get a little bit buffer, take a little less damage.
The funny part is, it is 1 square away from your enemy of your enemy.
Well, I don't even know, because I can't see. I see the rest of the emanation where it should be going, and then I see a yellow part where I'm like, sound travels no matter. He's very far away. Well,
Yeah.
there was no way of knowing.
True.
I've done this. Then we had established, because I shot one of the traps with my bow, with my bird. Because also I'm low on spells as well. But
We have decided they are cantrip level.
yes, but we also have established that they are dangerous when they can hide from us.
Yes.
So I'm activating one of the beacon shots that I found to use, and I will try to shoot, well, the one that has attacked Jiji, because so rude. And this beacon shot is I hit the target, it embeds itself into the target and spews basically sparks there for 1 minute. If the target is invisible, it becomes merely hidden. And the sparks also negate the concealed condition.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
A creature can remove the arrow by using interact basic action and succeeding at a d20 athletics check. So, but yeah.
You're turning them into a firework.
Yes.
I think it's one of those like table sparklers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
stuck to them.
Katy Perry in the background.
Maybe I'll find your work.
Exactly.
So, and
How much can we sing without having rights?
and I do hit. Woohoo! I can hit.
That's a 21.
Yes.
21 hits.
So I'm doing a little bit of damage. Exactly 4 points of damage, but he's now sparkling. And he just cannot come from concealed. And then those were all of my 3 actions, because activating it took an action.
Sounds good. Leading us to, of course, another one of those Jenkins. All the way in the back, the one that got hit just a little bit by Jiji is going to rush in towards you. And it does reach all the way to Giovanni. I forgot to place them on you because they are tiny, though they did reach you before.
How fast are they?
They seem to have around 30 feet of movement. And it's going to try to stab into Giovanni with a short sword. That is a natural 1 on the die, meaning it runs towards Giovanni, tries to stab it, and how does it miss you? I think it just stabs your beard, thinking it's a limb.
No, Giovanni has like raised his shield of thorns and just like effortlessly deflects the little guy. It's like not even a sweat.
Little guy does not enjoy it, leading us to the one that got originally injured. He's going to close in as well and try to stab you twice, because this one can. As its first attack is going to be a 24 to hit Giovanni.
24 with like raising the shield and with Sappho's inspiring, courageous poem that she recited. Or what was the actual rallying anthem that Sappho did on us?
A poem about like that she has just redone in her head, because usually you have the fights about, the small person fighting the big one. but it's definitely now turned around as in like it's David versus Goliath, but Goliath is winning.
Yeah, like Goliath. And Goliath is actually kind of cool.
Really cool and nice. And David is kind of an ass. So, yes.
Yes.
Anyways, like with exactly those bonuses, with the +2 from raising a shield and the +1 from the rallying anthem, the little guy also misses.
Very nice. Little guy's gonna try to stab you once more as his third action. That's going to be a total of 19. That's another miss.
Now Giovanni is like set up like a bulwark here, and like blocking the little tunnel with his shields, and the little guys have no chance. They just get blocked.
Leading us, you know it, to another Jinkin. This Jinkin is coming to aid for the other one as it's rushing towards our little guy here. Though with its speed, they are only able to rush and close in but not actually reach attacking position. Which means that's their turn. Followed by one who is a little closer in the tunnels, hidden among some of the other items, is one more of those Jinkins who is going to close in with our raccoon person and then going to try to stab you twice. As its first attack against our once teaspoon, now raccoon, is a 23 to hit.
That sadly hits.
For 1 point of piercing damage.
I take that.
And as its second attack is going to be... It rolled off a natural 20, but that's a total of 19.
Nice, that misses.
Very nice. That will be that guy's turn, leading us to the one you surprised because you wore its spoon and it doesn't know what happened.
That's fair.
It is going to try to stab into you as you took its spoon away with a total of a natural 20 on the dice to a 29.
That hits.
That is a critical hit.
Yeah.
For a total of 4 points of damage. Critical damage. 4 points. And third action is going to be a critical miss on our newfound friend. Leading us to another one of our many Jinkings here is going to be a further away one that has been messing with spoons quite often. It is going to rush in towards... Essentially, Giovanni sees one of those creatures rushing in, but then it jumps into one of the nooks and crannies in the walls and hides there.
Damn, so there's like 2 right in front of Giovanni, right? Basically occupying the same square. And then there's like one a few steps into the cave and one more hiding there in that tunnel. Okay.
Exactly. Which leads us, of course, to another Jinkin. You can hear and also see as one of them advances towards the hole where Giovanni is as well. But it came from further away and it only stops in the beginning of that area. And that leads us to the final Jinkin, which moves stealthily and is going to try to stab one of you. That is going to be a total of 26 to hit Giovanni as you are off guard.
That will actually hit after all. Although Giovanni will use a reaction to shield block against it.
I guess. That's a total of 5 points of piercing damage, even if you are off guard with sneak attack.
Well, and those 5 points of piercing damage get promptly deflected by Giovanni's shield block, like just kind of like swirling around with his shield and blocking that strike as it comes down, taking 0 damage from that as well.
Currently on Giovanni are 3 different jinkings. That leads us to Jiji.
How does it work with like targeting them when they're in our space? I guess for AoE spells it would have to be on the... I would have to hit the tile that Giovanni is on, right?
Yes. Unless you have something that tells you enemies only, as long as it says creatures, you target Giovanni as well, and yourself as well.
I mean, yeah, if I want to hit the one that's on my tile. But for melee strikes, I can just strike them normally, right?
Yes, and they are also flanked by you and Giovanni because you are next to the tile they are standing on. Tiny creatures have to be on the tile of what they're attacking, but you standing next to Giovanni are hitting essentially those who are on Giovanni or on you because they are somewhere on your body, but they are flanked from both directions.
Because I will try to strike the one that's directly in my space, basically. It's like, leave some personal space, god damn it. And I strike it with my dagger.
So happy they don't understand common.
That seems like a miss.
14, even off guard, is a miss.
How do I only, on my dagger, keep rolling so low? Like that was a 3 on the dice.
The game doesn't want you to use the dagger. They want you to use
But
the
it's a melee. It will attack me if I cast it. Or it doesn't necessarily, but it might.
But the game is like, no, you're an alchemist. Do what you're supposed to do.
It's a poison dagger. It has
Make
poison on it. That's what alchemists do.
I know, but the game is like, nah.
Make the kaboom kaboom.
They don't understand the rules.
I know it might not be the best decision mechanically, but I'll hero point it.
No, that's fine. That's what you have hero points for.
It's not much higher, but it's high enough to hit.
Eee.
An 18. An 18 hits.
Cool. So that is... Because it's a striking dagger, it also does some damage. So this is 6, I think, piercing damage, and it will have to roll for the poison that is on it.
What is your fortitude DC?
I posted it in the chat for the giant centipede venom.
DC 17 for giant centipede venom. That is going to be a total of... it rolled off 6 to a 16. That's a total of 22. So it is succeeding against the poison.
That is fair. I was mostly hoping for the dagger to hopefully kill it, but it didn't. But it's definitely not looking good.
Yeah, no, it seems bad.
I think I'll just risk it and cast a spell, which means they can strike me. Do the ones on Giovanni's tile also get like the manipulate?
No, because tiny creatures have to be on the creature they're attacking.
If I cast a spell, only the one gets a chance, if it has it.
Exactly.
Okay. Then I will cast Electric Arc.
Perfect. Tell me who you're targeting.
The one on me and the one that's seen better days on Giovanni.
One of the 3 creatures on Giovanni. The one on you rolls a total of 27. So that's a success. That's going to be half damage. And the one on Giovanni has a total of 19. So that's going to be a failure. They're going to take full damage.
So I think the damage counts for them both, right? So that's 11.
Yes. The
one is halved.
The one on you is on its last leg. The one on Giovanni falls down as you take the first one out.
Great. The second one could have also fallen over. Like it's death's door. It's I feel like it's like on its last neck. But that is my turn.
Close. I'm not gonna lie. That will lead us to Giovanni's turn.
Alright. So in Pathfinder, like if you cast a cone spell, you can place the cone like in any corner you want, right? So I could basically hit all of the ones that are like kind of like just straight up bullying or like ganging up on Giovanni, 3 of them right in the same space as himself. Could hit them with a cone.
Yep.
Right, and that's just what Giovanni is gonna do. He's gonna basically, like, from the once calm puddles, that's where his elemental aura, like the water starts stirring and rising up, and a bunch of thorny vines come out of the ground and reinforce Giovanni's shield, overgrow it with even more thorns, and Giovanni like takes a stance where his shield is kind of facing all of these little guys, including 2 more that are standing down there in the corridor in the cave, and just starts shooting out a hail of thorns from his shield at all of them.
Essentially targeting the 2 that are on you and the 2 that are further in the way, right?
Yes, it's a 30-foot cone, so I should be able to hit the 3 on me and the 2 that I can see in the cave.
Yeah. So let's give them a roll. One of the 3 on you already was taken out by Jiji, so you only have 2 on you at the moment.
Oh yeah, one of them is already down. That's true. So 2 on me and 2 in the cave. And that's gonna be the Hail of Splinters. I'll have to roll a DC 21 reflex save.
So starting with 1, the one that is fully a little bit injured on Giovanni is gonna roll a total of 19. That's gonna be a fail. The second one on Giovanni gets a total of 25. That's going to be a success. The third one that is further in the tunnel has a total of a natural 1, meaning it's a critical success for the one in the middle of the tunnel. And the last one all the way down is going to have a total of 13, meaning 2 failures, 1 success, 1 critical failure. What is the damage that they're taking?
So they're gonna take 3d4 piercing damage right away, and then they also have 3d4 persistent bleed damage on them. So let me roll that.
Bleed damage, bleed
they
damage.
Might die. Not just
That's
say.
gonna be 7 piercing damage right away, 14 to the one who critically failed, and 3 to the one who succeeded, and then the 3d4 bleed damage on the end of all of their turns.
That's massive. Starting with the one who takes full damage, then we have the one who takes half damage. We then have the one who takes double damage. The one who takes double damage is not doing great at all. And further down, we have the one who takes regular damage as well. All of them extremely injured. And you can hear once you do this cone that injures 4 of those creatures, somewhere deeper in the cave, you can hear as it seems like its friends are pointing and laughing on their friends who get injured.
Oh my god, they're just laughing at all of these.
They're even worse
guys.
than I imagined.
Not even any like sympathy for their own kind.
Yeah, no
pathetic
companionship.
Creatures. Alright, so basically like this expended all of Giovanni's like elemental energy that he had like unleashed before, so the kinetic aura around him disappears as this hail of splinters hits all of them. And while not taking out any of them immediately, like they are all in bad shape and bleeding out from all of the whips and little wounds they have. And well, there's still like a lot of these creatures around Giovanni. Some of them also looking in pretty bad shape already.
Yeah.
How I cannot unfortunately see it right now. How bad are the 2 that are on Giovanni's own space doing right now?
So one of them is doing quite fine, just a little bit injured. The other one seems to be like bloodied.
And the one on Jiji that is attacking Jiji currently?
The one on Jiji will die if you breathe too hard on it.
Okay, so Giovanni, like after expending all this elemental energy, will just basically go into a state of like focusing back up, trying to like open that kinetic gate once again, and like as the kind of like droplets of water get sucked out of the ground once again and some flowers start sprouting, like just one vine of thorns tries to pierce right through the one that is right on Jiji there, as Giovanni uses channel elements, as part of which he's also can use a 1 action elemental blast.
Heck yes.
That's gonna be rolled with a plus 12. Let's see the attack roll here. It's a 2 on the die. Oh, I'm considering using a hero point here just to finish him off there, right there.
Even with the off guard at the moment, it's still a miss.
Yeah, I'll just use a hero point. I feel like it's the time now. Oh, and that's a 19 on the die, 31 total. And let me see. This elemental blast.
What overkill do you do?
It's gonna be what was it gonna be? I believe 2d8 plus 3.
I'll remind you, this is the one that Sappho made into a living
So it's 14 normally, which gets doubled to 28 damage
Just
as this
gets
vine just
obliterated.
pierces straight through its little heart, and the little guy just hangs there like impaled on this vine and breathes his last breath before even realizing what happened.
Did you just make it Christmas tree? With a vine or a Christmas vine?
Still... Exactly.
So it still sparkles.
It's just still a Christmas firework that sparkles in place, just it doesn't move anymore.
But yeah, that will be Giovanni's turn.
That leads us to one of those you injured who is further down in. It is going to rush in on you as well. They just climb on you as they do. And it's going to try to stab you with its little short sword.
Giovanni, unfortunately, now having turned around to finish off the one on Jiji, not having raised his shield, is a little bit more off guard, but still seemingly like gets back into his stance where he's ready to dodge this attack coming from.
Yeah, as a 19 does not hit Giovanni. And with its last action is going to try to stab into you once more, and that is going to be a total of 19 again, meaning that is a miss. Which leads us to our new found friend. You are surrounded by 3 of those creatures. Somewhere inside, deeper where you can't see, are other people that you know are fighting here. What do? I'm sorry, before you do, if you don't mind, I'm going to stop you for one more moment, because the guy who went and climbed on Giovanni just took 20 points of damage and died.
Oh my god, he just was bleeding profusely. Honestly, that's maybe even the worst result for Giovanni, because this guy, as he was climbing all over Giovanni's shield, got Giovanni's beautiful garb like all messy, like with the blood that was just gushing out from him after the vines hit him, and he just bleeds out on his way up Giovanni's shield. But like Giovanni just kind of scowls and scoffs and is like, what Giovanni... the hell? Why are we even here? Why are we doing this? Cleaning this is gonna cost a fortune.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but please, you can describe what you do now.
Yes, I will swipe at the 2 chinkins in front of me while shouting vaguely in the direction where I think that people are. Ardrani sent me to help, but I kind of got captured and was a spoon. So could you maybe please help me now? And then I target the 2 chinkins in front of me.
I kind of got captured and was a spoon.
What are all these spoons that are lying around this room, people? Like, what is going on here?
Oh my god.
That would be wild.
How many raccoons will we find?
That is going to be a 22 to hit. That's a hit.
And my second attack is against the second creature there.
That is going to be a critical hit with a 32.
That's the damage for the first one.
Would you please describe how does it look, at least for us the listeners before the players get to see you? How does it look when you fight?
Basically, when the raccoon person grabs the invisible glaive, which is already a big glaive, it doubles in size. And now, even for a medium-sized creature, this weapon would be considered too big. And the raccoon person is a small person, so in his hand it just looks gigantic. He kind of wobbles around with it a bit until he manages to steady it. And then he gets it into a small spin on his side, and on the first rotation he hits the first creature, and then with the second he manages to hit the second creature.
Heck yes.
The first one takes 14 damage, and the crit damage for the second one is 42.
The first one takes a nasty hit to the side, but is still clinging onto you. The second one, you slice in half.
Excuse me, how much damage
as
against
it is
that guy?
done.
How?
42.
How
yes.
much?
43.
Okay.
4, then the letter 3.
That is a lot of damage.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage. A bit surprised after slicing it in half, I just ran away.
That is fair.
Yeah,
What's my movement speed though?
that's a good question.
Here.
Oh, you have nice movement speed.
Yeah. And I'll just run up here.
35.
Speedy raccoon.
Very nice.
Do
Speedy
we hear the
raccoon.
steps so we could assume
You are-
where he ran to?
How loud of a walker or runner are you?
I'm decently stealthy.
Okay, so we don't really know.
But you probably hear a giant
Not
blade being dragged over the stone ground, so currently probably not that stealthy.
I see. Roughly here in the map or just on Foundry? Ah,
Sort of.
okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly. So that's 3, right?
Yes.
Cool. That leads us to the one that was about to jump on you and you just ran away from him. So it's going to just chase. First action would be to rush 30 feet. However, 30 feet still doesn't give it the extra 5 feet it needs to go on you. So the second action needs to be to go into your square. And only as a third action it can attack you. As it runs yelling after you with this, it's kind of waving its short sword, but it runs and tries to stab you with an 18.
As the attack misses, I shout, "I was your spoon! A bit more respect, please!"
It looks at you confused. That leads us to Sappho.
Well, Definitely will just to the voice like, just listen to my voice. This is the direction you should be going. And send some more, encouraging words. This time, hopefully, encapsulating our newfound friend. And I'll keep the.
Maybe it's just a newfound spoon.
I mean, spoons are very helpful, So,
I agree.
rallying anthems on you, and I think this time I should be getting our newfound friend. And then.
Yes, now you are close enough to hear.
But I mean, I see something on my dear friend Giovanni. And I think that's, not so great. And yes, because I still have 2 actions left, I can. So there's one that is just barely. I'm taking. Oh, there's 2 on him. This is right.
Yes.
I'll see if I can hit him with an arrow. I do hit!
A 19 hits.
Yeah.
Sappho's just trying her way with a short bow and it's been doing well so
See,
far.
Yeah, technically I could maybe do this, but usually I try to buff you guys, but I'm out of spells, man. I'm out of spells.
That is fair. You take a shot at one of those who are on Giovanni. Is it the healthier one or the least healthy one?
The one that was barely hurt.
Barely hurt. It's no longer barely hurt. It's now
Beautiful.
hurt.
And I am pretty sure to put in a new arrow. I need to spend another action, if I remember that correctly.
I think it depends on the bow. Short bow, I think you don't need to reload.
I think crossbows you reload.
That is,
Yeah, short bow.
because I think short bow is the
Reload 0.
that you can directly, because which is actually true. It's a fun fact. It's a real fun fact. That is why bows were quite often used still, even when crossbows existed. You know, fun facts for our listeners.
You're gonna have to start it with a public announcement.
Public announcement. Fun fact. This is an actual true.
Bows used to be used.
Crossbows didn't just replace bows. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Both
They
were
were
used
used-
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ooh, I hit again, even with my
You
Nice.
do.
attack penalty, because this time I actually rolled higher. And so, let's see. But we're doing 1 damage. It's scraping just like his side. Because it's difficult with like...
1 damage is like a paper cut, and you really don't like it, even though it's tiny. You hate it very much.
It's also... It's so hard. There's Jiji, there's Giovanni. You know, I don't want to hit any of them. I need to be careful.
Yeah.
So it's just a grazing shot. It's fine. It's fine. And, yeah.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Sappho hopes she was clear enough in which direction that her voice was projecting well enough that our friend, new friend, will find his way to us.
The fun part is none of you have fully seen them just yet, and that's going to be very fun when they come into view. That does lead us to one of the two that are on Giovanni. As they're already on Giovanni, they're going to try to stab you a couple of times. However, they are also bleeding. So let's see where that goes. As their first action is going to be an attack with a 19 total.
Giovanni sees right through their
19
little
is-
combat maneuvers.
Leading us to a 13, which is a critical miss because of the rallying anthem. And as a third attempt to stab, we are once again with a critical miss. Tiny creatures don't do a lot of things. That leads us to see how much damage it takes, and that's going to be exactly the amount of HP it had, as this one also dies from the bleeding.
Oh no, god damn it, I'm never gonna use this again with fancy clothes. Gonna have to put on my worst garbs to use this kind of thing. Oh my god. As everyone
this
just
ma-
bleeds over Giovanni.
Is this a PSA for all Pathfinder players? Hey, bleed damage is really OP, and you should really figure out of how to stop bleed damage if it ever is applied to you. Yeah, I think that is.
Yes. I mean, that's one of the most common ways for for characters to die from bleed damage.
I mean, players will also die if you stab them from bleed damage.
Yes, but we don't
Exactly.
endorse that. That leads us to one of the other one who was already on our newfound friend, is now all the way on the other side. It is going to try to rush in and reach as well. Also needs 2 actions to reach on our raccoon? Bear? We'll see.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Is it a tanuki?
Is it a friend?
Yes.
It's a person first. But maybe. That's going to be a miss because of the because of the rallying anthem. Or at least part of it, as it's going to be a miss as its third action. Which leads us to the one that went inside to hide, as is trying to do what they do best. Can it reach you with... It can reach you with 15 feet exactly. Which means on half speed. Is the beacon arrow working in a range, Sappho?
Only working on the exact person that I shot it with. So,
Okay.
no.
So the one here that is using its genuine hide and sneak movement and has been succeeding still
Yes.
can do that. Very nice. It is going to try to stab Giovanni from hidden. However, with the Rallying Anthem and with the other buffs, it is unable to and is no longer hidden. So its third action is going to be without the off-guard condition. For a total of 19. A lot of 19s on Giovanni, and they're not going to do it. That leads us from the inside, keeping chase after our maybe raccoon, maybe bear, maybe tanuki, maybe humanoid is going to rush and join. You are covered by now by 3 of those creatures who just rush and grab on you. And as a third action, it's going to try to stab you. With a total of 27 to hit. For 1 point of damage for our newfound friend.
I'll take that.
Not a lot of damage here.
I'm very glad.
I feel like piercing resistance would go hard here because they only do like tiny chip damage.
Yeah. Absolutely. That leads us to the one who got a little injured from Giovanni is gonna rush in to join the other 2. So there's once again 3 creatures on you. And it's going to try to stab into you twice. As the first one is going to be a total of 22.
Actually, very close, just because of the Rallying Anthem. That one missed.
Very nice. Second one is going to be a total of 22 again.
Oh my god, just exactly the same. This Rallying Anthem is paying off like tenfold.
Absolutely. And our third one is going to be a total of 17.
I think like Sappho is just reciting like a poem about those little guys' combat like techniques in the background, and Giovanni is like and like dodging and blocking all of the hits perfectly.
On the end of its turn, it takes some bleed damage, though this one is still up. And is ridding itself from the bleed damage with a 19 on the flat.
So it only bled over Giovanni a little bit. Got it.
Yes. That leads us to the further one, the last one that is on Giovanni. It is going to try to stab into you 3 times. First one with a 26 to hit.
Ah, that will actually hit.
For a total of 1 point of damage.
And that 1 point of damage, like there's some remaining vines from like the big all-out attack Giovanni did in his last turn, and that basically gives him 5 temporary hit points after using it. So like there's just some remaining vines that just like suck up the little piercing poke from the creature.
A tiny branch of the vine just broke off, and that's it. Leading us to the second attack, which is going to be a total of 19. 19 is a miss. And as a third action, it is going to try to stab into you with a total of 17.
Yeah, no, Giovanni has literally not taken damage from those guys yet, and they've tried to a lot of times.
On the end of its turn, it's going to take some bleed damage. For a total of 2 bleeding damage and a fail on the recovery check. That leads us to Jiji.
Alright, seeing how Giovanni is handling these totally fine and is barely being hit, and even then it's the temp HP, not his actual, I will walk down the corridor or the tunnel to look out for a newfound friend. Or I guess the cries for help.
So what you see is... Actually, Christoph, could you please describe your character a little more, what they actually see now that Jiji sees you?
I mean, currently the raccoon red panda mix person is struggling to keep standing because 3 chinkins are crawling all over him. You see him make a bit of a panicked face. He looks unharmed though, but still panicking.
He's small like me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, then I'll try to come to your rescue. And I'm very sorry because this will also hit you. But it's basically you see a little goblin running around the corner. As she sees you and covered in the 3 Jenkins, she shouts, "Duck!" as she throws a caustic blast at them. Which unfortunately hit you, but you might dodge it. Basically, I'm trying to warn you. It will be a 5-foot burst.
Okay, reflex. That's the one save I'm terrible at. Let's go.
It will be funny if basically the most damage you take is from Jiji and not the Jenkins. Rolling from top to bottom.
A critical success. That looks good.
The head looks great.
So essentially you do duck.
Yes, I do indeed duck.
For our top one is going to be a total of 12, which is a failure. A bottom right is going to be a total of 26, which is a success. And our bottom left is going to have a total of 16, which is a failure. So we have 2 fails and a success.
So they take 8 acid damage. And I guess the success takes half.
One of those who took the full damage seems to be completely fine. One of them falls to the ground from the damage, as it is enough to bring it down.
See? Worked out perfectly.
Thanks!
Yeah, because Caustic Blast, I think if there's creatures on a small space, it's one of the highest damage cantrips, but it's very rare that there's so many creatures on like this small space, so...
Yeah. It's a great one.
But that is my turn.
Which leads us to Giovanni. You also have 3 creatures on you.
Alright, so Giovanni is also wrangling with these little guys, but is handling himself quite well. Like, he manages to like throw the one that climbed up on his like back down to the ground, like while like smashing one of them against the wall with his shield, and like holding like with his stretched hand the head of one of them who's like trying to run like at him. And but it's holding up quite well. So like one of them is almost dead, one of them is pretty damaged, but the one who is almost dead recovered from his bleed, so I never had any, right?
Indeed.
Alright, so that like Giovanni will look at the one like that climbed up on his back and that he just threw on the ground, and just like try to pierce him with a kind of like a long sharp vine, and do like just a melee elemental blast at it. So let me see.
Yes.
It's gonna be this one as a target, and I'm rolling with a +12. For a 19 on the die, 31 total on this guy.
Oh, wow.
That's gonna be a critical hit.
That seems overkill. Alright, so 2d8 plus 3 times 2. That's going to be a total of 24 damage to the almost dead gherkin. No, what are they called? Not gherkins. Someone remind me.
Jenkins?
The Jenkins?
Jenkins?
Jenkins. Is it with an I or an E written?
Either way, the Jenkin just
I.
gets completely impaled and is like gone instantly. Like that's one of them out of the way.
Coughing.
Oh, good.
You okay?
That guy is... Yeah, I just started coughing and I needed to mute my microphone. That guy is down with the massive overkill from Giovanni.
Alright, then Giovanni will like try to grab the one that is like there in front of him as well. That is fine, like with his free hand.
The one that is a bit injured, or the
one that is fully
okay?
It seems like the biggest threat, so Giovanni wants to get like a hold on him, and will roll for a grapple check. If I can find it.
It's going to be athletics against their
14 on the die. Plus 12. Oh no, but that's without multiple attack penalty, so it's only going to be a 22 against a fortitude DC.
A 22 will still succeed, but not
Alright, so Giovanni like look like the one he just threw on the ground, he just like pierces with his vine, Then the healthiest one that has just arrived there, he just like grabs with one hand on the head and holds him up. And then the last one, who is like very injured, getting squashed against the cave wall by Giovanni's shield. Like Giovanni will raise his shield to like squash him against the cave wall even more, so it's less of a threat. And that's Giovanni's turn.
Very nice. It's like a fighting and like moving its legs as fast as it can. Is that Giovanni?
That is Giovanni's 3 actions.
Panda, raccoon, maybe person. That is you.
The raccoon person will do a sweep against the 2 inside me.
Absolutely.
I hope they're not inside of you.
I didn't want to say anything, but...
Okay, they're on me.
Just...
They have very sharp
I hope
claws.
they're not buried inside of you in some alien-esque way. Because...
I have fluffy fur, so it's possible that they're inside that.
Something about a lice stroke.
That's a 19. Does that hit?
Yeah, so a 19 would hit.
Great.
Does hit. Which one would you go against first? There's one who has a little more injury than the other.
I'm pretty sure the damage is against both of them. Yes.
Okay. In that case, both of them take damage, as one of them seems to be on its last leg. The other one as well, but just a little bit better.
If it makes a difference, it would be 4 more damage.
That does make a difference if we're adding 4. One of them does completely fall, as the other one is on its last leg.
Nice. I will tell the small goblin person in front of me, thanks for the warning, but maybe next time just don't throw acid at me, please. And I will run back here.
Hey, it worked!
Very nice. That leads us. Is that 3 actions from you?
Yes.
That leads us to the one who has survived. It is doing extremely badly. It is surrounded by its fallen dead friends. And it is, while not the most intelligent creature, intelligent enough to know when to flee. As it uses all of its actions to run away. And get out of sight. Leading us to Sappho.
So, it's just... One of them is now out of sight. Okay. So... But there's still 2 on Mr. Giovanni. And we don't like this.
Yes.
So... You know, bows have kind of worked. So we will try to do that again. In the hopes that shooting once. Which is a critical... Oh my god, I should be shooting bows. I need a better bow. That's for sure. I just should be shooting bows.
We're gonna get you a better bow.
Critical damage. Which means I also...
This is essentially what we will say, I think we need a better bow.
The weapon has also a deadly D10, so when I do critical hit,
yes.
so it's 19 points of damage.
Are you doing the 19 points of damage to the one that is grappled or the one that is
The
not
one that is not
grappled?
feeling good.
I see. Well, I'll be happy to tell you that it's no longer not feeling good, as it is no longer feeling.
That sounds great. Oh, I can also see... Sappho can indeed now see our new friend. That is a line of sight.
Oh, nice.
So, just for our new friend, you might have seen Jiji more your size, I assume. You see an extreme, pretty tall elven lady with pink hair that is in a thick braid, with a bow, and seems way too excited about that. The bows are hitting, that the arrows are hitting really well. They're hitting really well, just highly excited.
I should be an archer.
This is my calling. Who will also then directly shoot a second arrow at the one that is still on Giovanni, because gosh dang. Can they stop? Maybe?
I think by now we can say it's not really on Giovanni as much as Giovanni is on
But
him.
at least I do indeed hit.
That is a hit.
That's probably going to be... it's just my one... It's a total of 4 points of damage.
Well, this one has not taken damage so far, so that's first damage.
But we then will keep up the rallying anthem again, because, well, it's good if everyone has a little bit more AC, right? And just excitedly then just yelling in the direction of our new friend. After just say, hello! It's great that I
Absolutely.
continue to be in a party of small people while being the beanstalk between them.
That is great. Is that Sappho?
That's for all 3 actions.
That leads us to the one that is currently being grabbed by Giovanni. It is going to try to release itself as its first action, as it really doesn't want to stay grabbed. Everything around him is dead, and it was very funny for a while, but now he's kind of realizing it's next, and it doesn't want to be the next one. That is going to be a total of 12 to release themselves. Is that a critical failure?
Against what they see, is it athletics or fortitude? I'm not sure.
They roll athletics.
Wait, but either of
against-
them is a critical failure. Like both the athletics and the fortitude would be a critical failure on it. Well,
As far as I recall, if you critically fail releasing yourself, you can no longer do that this action again in this turn.
I think so. Yeah.
Meaning it can't try to release itself again. So it's going to try to attack you, though it already used one of its, well, actions. So it's going to have map for this attack. For a total of 22.
Yeah, with the shield raised and the rallying anthem, Giovanni is unfazed by the little creature's attempts.
No dice. With a last of a 7 for a critical miss against Giovanni.
No dice.
That leads us back to Jiji.
All right. I guess at first Jiji replies to our new friend person, Tanuki. It's like she says, "First, you're welcome. Secondly, I didn't shoot at you. I shot at the Jenkins, and you happened to be in the way, but you ducked perfectly." And she like gives you this like bright grin, which her friends would know is very much a happy grin, but I guess to a stranger, which you are, it reveals all of her like very sharp goblin teeth. So do with that what you will, right? And I guess I will just see if I can catch up to that other Jinkin.
It disappeared into one of the more deeper
I'll
tunnels, yes.
take my movement and just look around to what I see, I guess. I assume they're hiding.
You look around. Yeah, you can give me, if you would like to try to find them, you can give me an action to seek to see
That
if you
would
can find them.
be an action though, right?
Yes. Seeking would be an action.
I'll try either way. I'll see if there's more enemies around, if I see
Okay.
the one that disappeared. So that's a perception check, right?
Yes, please. A blind one, because you do not know if you find them or not. You do not see the Jinkin at the moment.
Okay.
Wait, so we have no clue where it ran to on its turn?
You saw it running into one of the deeper tunnels, but you don't see it where you are.
So
at
we
the
basically know
moment.
which entrance it ran into, but from there on we lost it.
Yeah, you saw it running. Exactly. You saw where it ran to, so you can, if you want to catch up to
And
that
I
place,
just-
you can. But you can't
Okay.
see it at the moment. Anything else from Jiji?
I don't really see an enemy from here on out. So
No.
I guess you'll see her turn around with like a I got away. Dang it. As I will use my last action. I basically just turn around. I use my second action to walk back to safety to the party so that we don't get split up in case there's more. And I will use my...
That would be 3, I believe, because you use 1 to go
oh, yeah,
further in,
right.
1 to seek,
Yeah, that
and then
makes
you come
sense.
back.
I guess I will
will be
stay here. Yeah, from here on I can see everyone, but also have a good view of like the middle cave.
Like staying a little bit further
Exactly.
in, but not too far away where you can still see our party. Perfect. That leads us back to Giovanni.
All right. So by the sounds of it, like how many people are like they still engaged with, or like how many opponents are there still left over there? Well, like Jiji and our new.
You just heard
ally.
Gigi say it got away, and like walking backwards a bit. So like you can assume the last enemy that we were fighting ran away.
Okay, with that, Giovanni will just focus on the one that he has grabbed right now and take advantage of it still being grabbed fully and try to unleash like a 2-action melee elemental blast against it. And that's gonna be a roll
Sounds
with a
good.
+12. Is it off guard to me while it's grabbed, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's only a 9 on the die with a +12, it's 21.
That's the hits.
Alright, and then I roll damage, 2d8 +7, because it's 2-action one.
Mm-hmm.
But not that much damage on the dice, so 12 damage bludgeoning.
It is squiggling in your hand, absolutely not liking it, but still alive.
I think at this point Giovanni is like, he's surrounded by the corpses of these creatures and has like the last one grabbed in his hand and hears that his friends and our new ally seem to be not in danger anymore either, and it's like doesn't have to try that hard anymore, just kind of like slaps the creature in his hand lazily with his thorny vines. And well, might as well do it again with a 1-action elemental blast to follow up, just to try to finish him off.
Yes.
And so, an 18 on the die for a 30 total. Oh no, wait, it's with
30
multiple
is going
attack
to be
penalty. I forgot to add, so it's only a 25.
25 off guard is still
Oh,
a
it's
crit.
still a crit. Okay, so it's 2d8 +3, and then multiplied by 2, 22 additional bludgeoning damage as like the second vine comes down and hits a bit harder than the first one.
That is more than enough to put down the one that is in your hand.
Alright, and that's Giovanni's entire turn, finishing off the last one that was kind of close to him.
That leads us to our newfound friend. Do you still try to keep chase on the one that ran away?
Yes.
Cool.
I would say, hello, tall elf person. I'll be back in a moment. Just need to run after the last one. Be right back. And I will run where I saw the creature ran to. I will stride 3 times, with the last 2 being a sudden charge. So the moment I see it, I will strike it.
Sounds good. You rush into the tunnel, and it's once you go all the way in, you can see it a lot easier, as it was hiding behind one of the crevices of the tunnel that were not seen from inner sides. But when you get into the tunnel, you can see it easily.
And I will strike it. That's a total of 17.
That hits exactly.
Nice. And basically, while sprinting to the creature, I start spinning my glaive next to me. And when I'm within like 10 feet, I will jump into the air, strike it, and try to slice it in half.
As it had 1 HP left, 10 is more than enough to do the deed. As you bring it down. And with that, No more creatures that taunt you or laugh at you or play with spoons around you. We are out of initiative.
I love how he just went from like panic running away to like back to charging in immediately.
Yeah, but it's only one
Still,
creature
it was,
and not 12.
Very funny mood swings.
Yes.
Do you come back from where you got the creature?
Yes, with a big smile and holding an upside down chicken by its feet like a dead chicken.
A chinkin.
A chicken, yes.
I've just taken, a tissue out of my pocket and start, gently splotting away some blood that is in Giovanni. It doesn't help much because there's an abundance of Jenkins blood on Giovanni, but it's just been like,
Yes.
I think this needs to go into the wash.
If you wait until we're back, I
Yeah.
can just like tidy it with magic again, like I usually do.
Oh, that would be greatly appreciated. They've made a mess of this. This is designer.
But usually I have prestidigitation, but I didn't prepare it today. So basically until the next preparation I can clean the things again. I love prestidigitation. It's so like not useful in combat, but it's such a fun flavor spell.
Hey, can also be useful in combat
It's
sometimes.
a
Extremely useful. Giovanni
True.
is very jealous.
Just hello, friend.
But yeah, I guess we
You
turn to...
said you were sent to help us.
Hello. Yes, our Trani sent me. She said that her friend Santis, wait, I don't remember the name, but someone told her what's going on here. I think he's a priest or something here. Don't really remember.
Oh yes.
We helped Sandus and Adrani with their...
Santis.
Yeah,
yes,
Father
that was
Sandus
his
from
name.
our cathedral.
Yes. Yes.
And he was concerned for us? Or she was?
No, she basically came back, and I'm friends with her, and she told me things are going down here, and I'm originally from Sandpoint, but haven't been here in a while. So when she told me that you're planning to fight Rip Nugget, I decided, or rather, it was decided for me, that I come here since I have a pet peeve with him, and then I kinda got captured by Jenkins as a spoon. You know, it happens.
Wait, you got captured? I was going to ask about that. Giovanni, by the way, very nice to meet you. But,
Oh, hello. I'm Mamoru.
Jiji.
what was that?
Mamoru, yes.
Mamoru, okay. Very nice to make your acquaintance. So, I was gonna ask, is the spoon thing like a thing you do, or is it a thing they did? So, and I need to know more.
I can transform into a spoon. And he jumps into the air, morphs into a spoon, and just falls.
Oh
on
my,
it.
that is amazing.
See? I
But
can
is
just-
the
wait.
spoon talking? Oh,
Yes.
Does
what?
it have a little mouth?
Just a disembodied voice.
No mouth, just
Okay.
talking.
Just
I can also do this! And he transforms into like a sandwich board with a text. Buy now, everything 50% off. I'm not really sure if that's how they're called, but yes.
So like a cardboard.
Oh
Oh.
my, wow, this seems very useful for an infiltration.
I mean,
Yes, I can even move! And I skim it to the side. It's very
Oh,
loud,
oh,
it's
oh,
very
damn.
slow,
Okay,
but
okay.
I'll get there. And then I transform.
Well,
back.
I am fully convinced by your abilities. If you have an open, like something to settle with a Rip Nugget, then you're very welcome to join us. I think, Sappho, Jiji, what do you think?
I mean, yeah. A non-friend of Rip Nuggets is a friend of ours. Yes.
That's what I always say.
Yeah, and maybe we can keep you from being captured as a spoon again?
That would be great. Usually it happens when someone scares me and I just transform
Oh
into a
wow,
spoon.
okay. Very relatable.
Wait, you can also transform into a spoon?
No, but I can also... I hate it when people scare me.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
get that.
fainting goats.
You know, Giovanni usually just turns other things into rose bushes, but not necessarily when he's scared, but if he thinks something is not so pretty.
Yeah, I sometimes just grow like a huge rose bush around me so I don't have to see anything else. That's not as beautiful.
Aw, that's so sick. I want that
Also,
too.
my name is Sappho, by the way, and just reaches out her hand to like shake his paw.
Hello, I'm Mamoru. What was that?
Just to like shake the paw. I'm
Oh,
assuming he has a paw. Was it a human hand?
Yes. No, it's a paw.
Amazing. Little beans.
How do you hold stuff with that? Do you have a proper thumb?
Kind of. It's complicated. It doesn't really help that the weapon is 4 times bigger than I am. And when he says that, he puts his glaive behind his back where it shrinks down again and eventually just disappears.
Damn, that seems like a useful ability. Can you
seems
just shrink stuff?
very
Anything?
convenient.
Can you grow stuff as well? I can grow a lot
No,
of stuff,
it's
for
just
example.
invisible on my backpack. But all for this, and he grabs a giant hammer that becomes invisible the moment he touches it, which is also way too big. And the hammer head is probably as big
Oh,
as
damn.
And the size of
himself.
Jiji.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other weapon I hit stuff with. But people get scared when I run around with 2 giant
Not
weapons.
really,
So I
no.
usually
Honestly,
keep them
that's super
hidden.
smart. I admire that. And this, I guess Jiji also reaches out her hand to
Yeah,
say,
it's very
like I
nice.
said before, nice to meet you, Jiji.
Hello, acid person. I will remember that.
What, did it work perfectly and we defeated them? Yeah, I'll remember that too.
What is going on there?
Yeah,
why
exactly.
do I feel some tension there? Like what is going on with the acid? Tell the acid story. Have you met before?
Tell your acid story.
No, all good, all good.
Okay.
I also
So-
just saw him in this cave, captured, I guess, as a spoon.
Anyway, so I guess you saw some of our techniques and stuff, but this is Sappho, who has like bardic abilities to fortify and inspire us all, and also mess with some enemies.
Ooh, nice.
Jiji, who is both a renowned alchemist and apprentice spellcaster, and myself, who can conjure up anything related to the planes of water and wood, mostly focused and specialized on gardens. What about you?
That's so
You seem
fancy.
to hit stuff with your big weapon.
Yes, I hit stuff with
yeah,
big
very
weapons.
nice, very nice. Just to get acquainted with our abilities and like.
Yeah, sadly not more than that. Just big weapons and hit enemies in face. But it's pretty fun.
Honestly,
You
we
should
were
try.
in business for someone who like has a big weapon and hits stuff, because we have
That's
managed to actually figure out where Rip Nugget's lair is, and we are
really?
preparing for a big decisive battle against
Yeah,
him.
we didn't want to head in just the 3 of us. So, I mean, Sappho also exhausted most of his spell slots, and I think after this fight, I did too. So we were hoping to head back to Sandpoint and maybe, like, go after Rip Nugget tomorrow. Or, like, prepare properly for the fight. Because, yeah, we're running low on resources right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's. But you know, before we leave,
Would you mind if I join you for that? I can wait here. I can be spoon.
No, I feel like that would be unsafe. We're not 100%
Okay.
sure if there's still some jinking around, and I'd love to, like, sneak around to see if there's someone hiding somewhere.
yeah, and also, so I have a room in the tavern. I'm pretty sure they'll, would have another one. Or if you're okay with sleeping as a spoon, I mean, I have a table in my room where
That sounds great.
Where the spoon could rest upon, but I don't know if that's the most comfortable. But yeah, I think Gigi is right. Maybe checking here out if there's anything else as well as, Gigi, could you? When I first walked in here, I saw a sword in the stone, and I know they're supposed to be doing weird stuff to magic items, but I still want to know what the sword does.
I did see it too, and I'll have a closer look. So I guess we head into the main chamber?
Yeah. Finding the sword in the pile of rubble is very easy. But if you want to search around to see if you find any of more creatures or anything else, please give me a perception roll.
Yes, I will be looking for them.
So first things first. You do not find any more Jenkins. However, you do find in one of the tunnels, actually the one where Mamoru was taken or held by as a spoon, there is a couple of coins that you can find on the ground, and it seemed to be leading further in as if someone dropped them on a way somewhere.
I guess if the party spots something and just say don't touch it, be careful. We don't know what the Jenkins did here.
Oh my god, the tunnels are so much.
I would kind of follow that and check out what's going on there.
Money.
Yeah.
As you follow the coins, you find a small chamber kind of hidden in the inner sides of the tunnels. These tunnels are immensely difficult to figure out. Their whole path is kind of twisting and turning within themselves, and it's so easy to get lost in them. But you find a small cavern inside the tunnels where you can see a mountain or a mount of coins as well as sacks with some items and gems inside it.
I would just, stash them so that, but once we're back in Sandpoint, can look at them all.
Yeah. You could just collect them on.
How do curses work in Pathfinder?
How do curses work in Pathfinder? I believe it's more when you attune to an item. If it's cursed, you might get affected, but not from touching. As far as I recall, but I might be wrong here.
I mean, some would probably pick them up carefully with something like that. It's not bare skin on the object.
Yeah.
And just put them into a party stash, so that it's I don't think she can carry all that much by herself. It's just
makes sense.
putting them across.
Give it to the new guy to carry.
That
I can transform into a bucket and you can put it into me.
that sounds
And I jump
wrong?
into the air and
Yeah,
transform
but
into
what if we
bucket.
encounter more enemies and then you'd want to fight with us? So
I mean, but
Yeah, that's a good point.
what happens
And I transform back.
if we put
That's gonna
gold
be
into
so
you
fun.
as a bucket and you transform back? Does the gold then just explode? And could we use it as a bomb?
doesn't it just fall to the ground?
That's a very good question. I never tried it out. We should totally do that, though.
Yeah, it's a question.
Downtime
Is
activity.
it something that just falls into the ground, or is it going to be I don't know how that magic works.
I don't know either. I was born with it. I never studied it. I'm just a
I
spoon
was born a
sometimes,
spoon.
Why a
Impressive.
spoon?
That's the easiest.
Interesting. Fair answer.
Spoon confirmed least effort item in the world. But yeah, I think we would have a look around and kind of explore this cave system and just tell us if
Yeah.
we find anything on our way.
Glance into the sides.
Essentially, scanning the entire area with your rolls from before, you find the pile and you find the sword. Other than that, the tunnels go
It's
in weird directions. You can see that some of them
so many tunnels.
actually lead to what seems to be the opening of the pit that you went down.
Yeah, I'm back in the
from.
main room. I just went in a circle.
More like some of them lead to the opening of the pit itself completely. You can see you're standing above the gaping hole.
Some of them circle back, but I guess if I took the right turn, then I do reach that hole of the pit that you just described.
So
Yes. So there are some tunnels who reach all the way to the main hall. Main hole, not hall. But a lot of them just twist into themselves. It seems like it's a kind of a naturally made labyrinth.
I mean, that's a lot. Yeah. I so desperately want to know if that sword is cursed. Because
I mean, there's an easy way to
Don't
find
touch
out.
Also,
Gigi is
did we
really good at this
find,
stuff. Like, Gigi is really good at the stuff and figuring it out and doing stuff safely. So it's definitely better to let her do it instead of us touching it. I'm just saying.
Can I roll for what the sword does? If it is like enchanted or like arcana or crafting? What
Yeah.
is it?
It's going to be Arcana, Nature, Occultism, or Religion to identify the sword.
You're gonna be King Arthur
Can
if
I
you pull it
help
out.
her?
In our world, it's King
Um,
Parther. Yes, you
Because
can
I
help
would
her.
use probably my occultism to help Gigi's arcana.
Does my crafter's appraisal work here? Is it I can use crafting
Yes.
instead of any of the arcane traditions to identify magic items?
You can use crafting to any identification rolls, so it's the same DC, but you just use your crafting
Great.
option.
Can I also help or roll myself?
You can either one of you can aid. If you both aid, we're taking the higher one. But yes,
Nature
gonna
was an
be
option,
a-
right?
you can also
The-
yes
okay,
any of the
then I'll
magical
just roll
traditions.
nature.
Yes, Gigi specifically has Crafter's Appraisal, which gives her the option
I
to use
can-
crafting instead.
Do I publicly roll this or do I blind also?
I think the
to help
helping
me?
is public and I
Publicly.
roll hidden.
Yes.
That is a 22.
That's a +1 on Gigi's roll, and we have Giovanni's roll separately. Even with the +1 from Sappho, Gigi, you don't exactly identify what this sword is. However, Giovanni does. This is a +1 ghost touch short sword. It means that it can actually harm creatures like ghosts who are incorporeal.
You could have really used that one.
Oh yeah, I've actually
Wait, you fought
I
those?
recognize the sword. It's like an old legend among gardeners that there's like a short sword impaled in a pile of bones. Because like
However,
Okay.
Giovanni, you do identify this and know that this is cursed.
oh, okay, so Giovanni will basically like tell this old folk tale, this old like fairy tale of a gardener who warded off a ghost with a magical sword, but the sword was cursed and he ended up killing his own wife, and then the sword was lost. And this is that magical sword of legend, but the curse still may linger upon it.
That's tragic.
It is possible in some ways to remove curse from items. However, it takes a bit of work. It's not going to curse you immediately, but if you attune to it or if you start using it, it will.
And I think
So
I
we're
think-
safe to take it with us and we can try the curse?
Do we know what the curse is? Like, maybe it's
No.
worth it.
Yeah, it's
No.
probably some wealthy gardening lore item collectors would pay a fortune for this relic of legend.
I think Giovanni would get a sense of what the curse is here, because to identify a curse, you already need to succeed so well on figuring out what the item is. Giovanni, you get the sense that this curse will force you, whoever who uses this item, to be in a situation where you must always declare what you are going to do with a sword, meaning stealthing with it is absolutely impossible. And if you do not declare what you do, anything you do immediately after becomes jumbled and messed up, as whatever action you attempt to do, if you do not declare what you're going to do, becomes a critical failure.
No,
Oh,
that's
wow.
fun. Okay, so Giovanni like
So it's a fun one.
kind of like manages to keep apart the parts that are just fairy tale and myth, and those that are reality about this weapon. And will also share that the sword makes you announce anything you do publicly, and you have to always speak the truth and always say what you're about to do, as long as this weapon is cursed.
I mean, we should get rid of that curse. I mean, let's just put it into. We'll take it home, and then with all the other things that we're gonna be, looking at very carefully. After we had, some nice tea, maybe, a little snack.
I have no idea how to get the curse off of an item, but there probably would be some collectors who would pay quite a good sum for it. Either way, you're not affected unless you actually try to wield it.
Probably a book on doing that. I'm sure about it.
Well, we'll figure it out, but I think it's about time we headed back and prepare to take down Rip Nugget the next time we come in here. I feel like we've got a pretty good idea of anything that's going on here, and at least this floor of the pit.
Yeah, I would agree. What do you think, Gigi?
Totally. I mean, that's what we said earlier, and I guess this just adds to our to-do list to identify some of these things.
Yeah, so, I think...
Yeah, I think... no, you go ahead.
Apologies, Mamoru, that you already trekked all the way here to then go back to Sandpoint with us and then have to trek all the way back here tomorrow. I hope you don't mind.
Oh no, all good. I wasn't in Sandpoint. I just walked here directly and hoped I would find you. But then I heard a noise, got scared, was a spoon, and then got used to dig around in dirt for a couple of hours.
Maybe because Adrani, like she probably heard when we were going to the pit the first time, and we actually came back. So maybe you just missed us, and that's how you got lost. But we found you now. Thanks for the help. So
yeah. I didn't want to go through the main door, so I went through the tunnels, but then the Chinkins were here, and they apparently like to collect spoons.
Well, hopefully not anymore.
But yeah, Charlie, we were saying that we were basically just gonna, like, on our way out, look for any items we might have missed, but other than that, just head back to Sandpoint.
Yeah, I was asking if you head back to Sandpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. On our way.
All right.
And unless you as a DM say we suddenly get jumped by enemies, we just head back and call it that.
Suddenly. No. You do not get jumped by enemies. You get out of the pit through the regular main door, which is, funnily enough, for Mamoru is new because you did not come to the pit, or at least to the tunnels, from the main door.
Yep.
As you walking out, you can see towards the webbed area where Mamoru will be able to see a lot of spider webs, some of them burnt out, and some very big spiders hiding in the corner of that room as the party just walks through it nonchalantly.
Oh yeah, do you get scared by the spiders?
Make your way. Oh yeah.
Like what's Mamoru's reaction to the giant spiders just casually chilling there?
We're their boss, by the way.
They're bigger than you.
They're employed
I just
by
walk
us.
past it until I glance to the side, get scared, and become a spoon.
Don't worry, it's just an employee.
Don't worry. I'll pick up the spoon and carry it like very carefully in my hands. I'm like, it's fine. We're gonna be away from them soon. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, we should have probably warned you.
So fun.
Yeah, they're not dangerous to us anymore. They were controlled by a web lurker, I think. Yeah, it was a web lurker.
Yes, you are correct.
It was indeed.
On your way out, do you stop by to pick up sausage?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Essentially, the party, on their way out from the tunnels, go through a spider area filled with webs where the spiders are afraid of you, march into a different inner chamber to a room filled with goblins who are holding their weapons, and they're all kind of playing, petting, unclear, a creature that you think might be a bear. Maybe it's a raccoon. It has a tail that bears don't, but they seem to be playful. As when the party arrives, the creature, bear, raccoon thing approaches them, and you take Sausage with you. Your way to Sandpoint is not too difficult. You've made this route before, at least most of you, on this specific side. And you reach all the way back to Sandpoint. The first thing you would do, I would assume, is do you go directly to someone or do you go first to see Tippler?
I think we're coming from somewhat outside of the city anyways, so I would probably first head to Tippler's place to drop off Sausage, so that the Sausage doesn't have to go to the city streets where it's busy with people. Unless...
Is it for the people's sake or for Sausage's sake?
I think for Sausage's sake.
Bear, monkey... No, raccoon,
both,
bear,
probably.
monkey, raccoon. Anyway, let's head to Tippler.
You go towards Tippler's place. Tippler's place has always been right in the edge of the forest, next to one of the bridges into the inner city. And as you go towards his house, you see there is a small note that is like hammered into the wall or into the door that is clearly meant for you because it says, "I'll be back by evening. Meet you soon." But you do not see Tippler in his home.
Oh damn, he must be busy. Well, I have one guest bed in my humble abode for
Sausage?
one of either Sausage.
I think Sausage can sleep on the floor.
One of a
and,
bear creature.
Mamoru can actually take the bed.
Either Mamoru or Sausage. One of them can take the guest bed, one of them has to take the couch on the floor.
I'm fine with either.
Giovanni's place is likely the biggest, as Jiji also only has a small, like, studio flat lab, I guess.
Mamoru, you have to value yourself more. You have to like put your own priorities, your own well-being over those of Sausage.
I can also turn into a couch.
Oh damn, how comfortable is that sleeping?
On me? I don't know, I never tried it.
No, like just you sleeping while you are a couch, I suppose. Not even anyone sleeping on top of you.
That's a good question.
Wait, you've never tried it, but why do you suggest it then? What if it's like you have horrible back pain?
Maybe we don't try it then.
Yeah. No, I say you get the guest bed and then Sausage can take the couch.
Sounds good to me.
As you're all walking in the streets, making your way each to their own home / to their new place to be in, you come across Baylor Hemlock, the sheriff of Sandpoint. Greets you on your way in. Glad to see you. How have you been doing?
We've been doing all right.
It's nice to hear.
How have the gardens been doing, Sheriff? Have you been keeping the gardens safe? Any vandalizers? Any vandals around? Any kids ripping out rose bushes?
Well, not really as far as I'm aware, but I can't tell you that we have been treating the guard with extra guarding for the gardens. We had some other things to take care of. Are you back from somewhere?
Any burning devils burning down the entirety of Sandpoint while we were gone?
Not really. Only the regular hubbub and some, regular town halls meeting, trials, etc.
We're just returning from a day of adventuring. Why do you ask?
Well, I'm considering what you have been doing in this town and everyone who's kind of aware of who you are, I thought you might be around for Father Xanthus' trial, but if you haven't been here, you might not even know about
What trial? What do you mean, Father Xanthus' trial?
Oh, so you haven't heard about it. Well, Father Xanthus is going to be on trial for summoning the ghost of Noalia.
Why?
That's going to be tomorrow
Why would you
evening.
be on trial for that?
Because that is not something we have been doing in Sandpoint. So it's going to be on trial to see if he has been risking Sandpoint by doing it. It's going to be tomorrow evening in the town hall. You might want to talk to him.
Yes. That's...
Oh,
so
yeah, and
rude.
also attend the trial and make sure nothing happens to Father Santos. I mean, his summoning of Nualia is instrumental in avoiding the dooms heading for the garden, for the entirety of Sandpoint. And
Well, that's for you to prove. The council is going to be meeting tomorrow. If you can help him, please
alright,
do.
listen, I have a very good lawyer, yeah, and I will have him look into the laws of if it's actually forbidden to resummon the ghosts of dead.
Look, I'm not going to be on the council. That's not my decision. But if Father Xantus manages to prove that he hasn't put Sandpoint at risk, then all should be fine. Otherwise, he might be removed from the council.
And who is behind these trials? Who is behind this, pray tell? You don't have to say the name, but we all know the family.
It's all of the families.
Say it's not like that. All of the families. And there doesn't happen to be like one particular family kind of at the helm of that.
Of course not.
Of course not.
The trial is made out of a couple of different-headed people. The council has always been not just one family, nor is it just a founding family.
I think what Giovanni is saying, that there might be a certain family who initiated the trial. That the council is, of course, all the families, we know that. But there might be more at play here, and we'll definitely be there to make sure that all the facts are known.
I trust you will. Speak to Father Xantus.
Thanks for letting us know. We will.
And he kind of nods to you and goes back to the direction of the barracks where he is usually in. But I think you can figure out about the council and about the trial. I think we could do that next session, as you will talk to Father Xantus about his side.
How dare they?
Incredible.
How dare they?
What
did you ask? What's that about?
I was just standing
who's that?
there, just looking at that person.
I forgot his name.
It's the mayor. Not the mayor.
sheriff?
God.
Baylor Hemlock.
was his name. Yeah, the sheriff.
The
Ooh,
sheriff
important
of
person then.
Sandpoint.
Didn't you say you were from Sandpoint at some point?
Yeah, but it's been a while, and I tried to forget that time.
Oh, well then, I'm sorry, but yeah, they're
All
sheriff.
I mean, I'm here now, so I'm willingly, or half willingly, I guess, facing it.
Yeah. I'm going to figure out why and how this trial is going to happen in our next session, after you speak to Baylor and find later on what Tippler has in store.
Alright then, thank you for playing, thank you for listening, thank you everyone for a great time.
Thanks for the sessions and all the reveals today.
See you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And thank you for
Thanks
joining
for having
us.
me. It was very fun to play with you all.
We'll see a bit more of you.
100%.
We're happy to have you as guest.
Alright then, have a good one everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Red Sun Rising is made by Of Dice and Dinner, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. Red Sun Rising uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy at paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Red Sun Rising is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Original characters and content are the property of Dice and Dinner. Our podcast intro-outro theme is made by Frieda, Melando, and Shachar Bieber. Of Dice and Dinner is happy to be in touch, and our email is the best way to do so. That's ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.